browser, Internet Explorer. Apparently there is one that is the Explorer Edge, and that's not the one. And so when you log in as yourself. If you've never logged in, then you'd have to register. So once you logged in, then you should see on the top blue navigation bar, you should see 4 items if you don't have direct reports, people part of your team to approve. You should see home, and it has generic company information to be populated. You should see resources. This is where we're going to be able to upload the handbooks and any other pertinent company-wide information to share. You should see a tab for myself. And in there, in addition to your pay statement, you'll now see personal information. So if you wanted to update your address, you can do that here too. Since we don't enroll benefit in ADP, this dependent beneficiary is nice to have, but it's not going to be linked to ADP in any way that affects benefit administration. And I don't know what that talent profile is yet. And then the pay tab is for your pay statement and tax withholding. And if you wanted to, you can also update your direct deposit. And all of this is directly linked to ADP, and it affects your payroll, paycheck processing.
This is Robin, can I interrupt a little bit? Because I think there's, confusion. Well, there's 2 things I want to say. One is when you log into ADP, if you don't see the graphs, then you're in the wrong ADP account, the older one. So that's one thing. But I think there's confusion as to what we're supposed to do in Zenefits, and what the use of Zenefits is versus the ADP. So hit on that. I think that'll help people have the context.
Okay. So Zenefit gives you a self-service portal for everything employee-related, minus paid time off administration. It used to be that we could do all of that, pay time off and all of your self-service employee data that you can manage on Zenefit. That continued to be the case, except we have migrated pay time off back to ADP, and I'll go over the reason why in a bit. So for Zenefit, you continue to be able to go to Zenefit to see your personal profile data, to see your health benefit enrollment. If you have a change, qualifying life event that impacts your benefit or your dependent benefit, instead of sending me an email for me to help you enroll, you now have the power and information to be able to go to your Zenefits portal, as you have been, to view your benefit, to make changes to your benefit. You can update your personal information, your address, your direct deposit. That continues to be the case. ADP is just providing you with another venue for you to do that. And then, of course, if we have termination of employment, or we have temporary leave of absence that impact your benefit, then Zenefit is also the platform that help us administer any employment-related COBRA, continuation of health benefit events, and that communication still comes from Zenefit, and Zenefit is also the platform for you to manage any COBRA post-employment enrollment. Let me see what else. Yeah, and then if we have new hires, not in the group, our team that I'm talking to right now, but if we have new hires, then our new hires are automated and have their onboarding managed online via Zenefit, and then managers will be able to go in and have visibility to their team, and that continues to be the case. The only thing that's changed is we are now migrating paid time off back to ADP. And I guess the trigger event for that is that Zenefit a couple of months ago changed their CEO, and along with that, they changed their business strategy. And for some of the services that their clients were using, they require a contract. And the only thing that would impact us is pay time off. And the contract we would have to sign up for is for 18 months. Now, the relationship we have with Zenefit is relatively new. We are still evaluating them to make sure that they continue to be effective representing us as a benefits broker. And so the last renewal, that was pretty good in terms of the rates that we experienced. There was some technical bumps, but we've learned and we've moved beyond that. I am looking ahead to our next open enrollment, and I want to make sure that we have all the flexibility to be able to consider other options should Zenefit return an unfavorable quote for our renewal. So tying us into a contract for 18 months with Zenefit would prevent us from exploring other options if the renewal is not favorable. And I didn't think that that would be good business decision for us. And coincidentally, at the same time, because of competition, and I was evaluating our current services with ADP to make sure that we're not duplicating a lot of the functionalities we currently have in Zenefit with ADP, because within ADP we are paying a fee for everything that we are currently utilizing. The pressure of competition caused ADP to make available to us some other added features free of charge, and pay time off tracking is one of those. So, looking at kind of the constraint of having to be tied contractually to Zenefit with very limited flexibility to adjust at the end of the year versus the little inconvenience for you and the organization as a whole to migrate pay time off back to ADP to give us, the flexibility at the end of the year should we need it. I think it was a good trade-off, and so that's the reason why we are now moving pay time off back to ADP.
Okay, now let's figure out how we can actually use it so we can get our vacations approved.
Okay, excellent. So if you are utilizing, if you're able to get in utilizing the link to the most recent upgraded version of ADP, then you should be able to see 4 options on the top navigation bar. And then under the Myself, you should
What if you don't see those?
Okay. If you don't see those, please send me an email so that I can respond with the right link for you to sign in to give you these options. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, and you can do it starting now because I can email you. So anyway, so let's assume that you have the right link, you're able to register and log in. You would go to pay. Go to time off. And then under time off, you would select request time off. And then once you're in, the landing page is the current month calendar. The red circle is the day, it's the day that you're on right now, the most current date. So let's say I'd like to request leave. I click on the request time off. And then number 1 asks me for what is the start date and what's the ending date. Is that self-explanatory, or if you'd like me to go over how you enter? Does anyone have question about the starting and ending date?
What if it's only a few hours within the same day? Like half a day, let's say.
Okay, let's try. So if I enter May 8th and end May 8th, then number 2 gives me the option to select the type of time off, and this will be applicable to the employment type that I have with Aptera. So if you are a top, you would only be able to see sick. And if you are a regular full-time employee, you'd be able to see sick and vacation. And let's say you want vacation or sick. And here is where under the amount, you can enter the hours. I think
are we limiting that to 4-hour increments? People can't take less than half a day off. Is that correct?
You know, I limited that on Zenefit, but I didn't on ADP. So you can take 1, 2 hours off.
All right. Well, I didn't think that that was something that we had exempt employees do.
You can. Yeah, exempt employee, as long as we're not tracking them hourly, but they can themselves elect to take time off in hourly increments. We just cannot, if they are exempt and they're taking leave without pay, and if they work any hour during the day and then taking the rest as leave without pay, then we have to pay them for the full day. But if they have leave to take, they can designate the hourly type of leave they want to take in lieu of the leave without pay, and that would be okay. Okay, so then you can choose to add a comment for your supervisor or not. Where respond by, you can request your supervisor to respond to your request by a certain date, or leave it blank. That will be fine. And then you hit submit. And then over here on the right-hand side, you'll see your current balance, sick and vacation. And what you're looking at are mine. Okay, so then I've also heard from managers and employees, and thank you so much for your comments and feedback, because it helps me to understand how to support you, that I think from Chris, that our managers and employees are not getting the messages that time has been approved or that there is time to be approved by for managers. And I am still looking into that. But in the meantime, if you would like to know if you have time to approve as managers, you can log into your portal either on the phone using the mobile app or using the desktop. And then you see there is this envelope. That's the message center. And if you click on it, it will tell you if you have messages for you to respond. I have lots of messages that are payroll related, so I don't want to click on it, but it will allow you that ability to see the pending request, and then you can approve on your desktop or on the mobile app.
But Lon, isn't that supposed to be forwarded to our regular email?
But that's not working.
But that's not working, so that's what we're working on right now.
Yes,
okay.
It is working. It's just that we're trying to get ADP to change the naming convention so that when the email comes over, it's not captured in the security firewall thing that we have here at Aptera. So they're trying to figure out how they can do that from the back end. But it is happening. You'll just have to go look for it. It's being filtered and captured by our firewall security process.
You will now be placed into the conference. This call is being recorded.
You can't find it. It has to be released. So right now it really can't get to us unless somebody in IT tells it to come to us. So.
Okay. So what other questions do you have, or what other challenges you have with this new process?
Lon, this is Susan. I'm going to give this another shot this afternoon, but I think what most of my team and I were experiencing, excuse me, so sorry, was that we were able to get into the site where it's basically your pay stub information. So far, I haven't been able to find or get into this page that we're looking at. So I'm going to work on that again this afternoon and leave it to my team to confirm that that is what they're still experiencing or not.
Okay, Susan. I appreciate that. When we end the call, I'm going to reach out to you via email and send you the link so that you can share with your team. And then you can let me know using the link if it changed any. And then secondly, I wanted to reassure all the managers who have approving authority for paid time off that some of you, when logging in for the first time to ADP, have told me that that either their access has been suspended or they're not active in some way. Because of that, I've gone into ADP and manage all the access so that all the managers with approving authorities are now active, and the ones that were inactive, I reinstated, and I also trigger an invite with the new registration code for you to be able to register. And if you're still having issues, please do reach out to me and we'll work on it together.
Another question, we have a lot of term of project employees who in benefits had to go in, and if they were taking time off, even though they didn't earn vacation, they put in time off request and leave without pay. How do we address that for people, TOPs who are taking time off moving forward?
Yeah, so we have the option in which I've already engaged with ADP to add leave without pay as an option for employee. It's not just our TOP, Robin, but some of our employees who are full-time regular taking leave, FMLA, short-term disability leave, and when the benefits runs out and they continue on leave exceeding their benefit accrual, they actually end up on leave without pay. So we really need to have that, and that will become available. In the meantime, the method for us to capture that data for me to administer payroll continue to be effort tracker. You know, the system that you enter your work hours by project, and then Chris generate a report before each payroll processing, and he sent that information to me, which is tremendously helpful. And then I am able to use that information to process payroll accordingly. So until the leave without pay option is available on ADP, we're going to continue to utilize the report from Effort Tracker.
Okay, and then those of us who have requests pending, it's up to our managers to log in and look and see. So if you could prompt my boss to use ADP, that would be helpful.
Oh, okay, Robin. Actually, that's a great suggestion. So on behalf of all managers, if you ever need me to as the company's administrator, I can go in and approve time off on your behalf. And I'm happy to reach out to your manager, Robin, and prompt him. But I could also, as the administrator, approve your leave request.
Okay,
And
so
then
if we're
I'll
having,
send him a
if somebody's having issues, they can just ask you to go in and help with the approval.
Exactly.
Not issues because their manager said no, but issues, technical issues.
Right.
Right, exactly.
But don't tell them.
Robin said I can't take the time off, but Lon, could you please approve this for me?
Don't tell them. Don't worry.
Well, I appreciate your patience and your humor. If you can laugh with me, I think we'll be okay. Continue to share with me your challenges with this new system so that I can continue to work on getting solutions for us. Any other questions or concern, comments?
How do you log out of the site?
I believe you go to the box with the arrow out.
Okay.
And then it, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and then you can log out.
It's the new universal icon that they're pushing upon everybody and not telling them what it is.
Yeah, I've never seen that universal icon.
I've seen it in a couple of, like, the old.
You're still sharing your screen, by the way, on the chat.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Anybody else have
Okay.
any questions? All right, well, Lon, thanks for walking through this. I think it'll help. It sounds like the biggest challenge is for people getting in at all. I know when I first got in, though, I didn't have access to the calendar even once I got into the right thing. So it's all kind of fallen into place for me. I was checking.
Quick question, what about vacations that were approved in benefits?
Right, so vacations that were approved in benefits for the month of May are porting over. If you requested something on May, please re-request it. So June on must be in here, or if you know, and that's only for ones that had already been approved. Anything else, at this point on, any request should come in here, even if it's for May.
I have a vacation that straddles of May and the beginning of June, and I asked, Marie had me ask the question, and they said to put in for the whole
vacation in ADP.
Even though some of it was in May.
Okay,
But
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the one on benefits was just helpful information. This one is being used. So if it hasn't been ported yet, then that's fine. You know, if it's duplicated, it's not going to cause any issues.
Yeah. The person who just shared the vacation plan that straddles 2 months, I remember that request. I just don't remember who. And I can tell you not to worry. I am actually reviewing the data that I import over for the month of May. And if I see any duplications, I'll reach out to you. I'm not going to automatically dock your account twice, not to worry. Okay?
Great.
Ron, I have one more quick question. When I click on the link that you sent in your email, it only gets me to the pay statement one. Should we be using the link that we can see in your browser window?
You need the
Yes, and I'm happy.
now link.
Yeah, that wasn't in the other email.
Yes. I realize that, and I apologize. I did not know that there's an upgraded version until I talked to Robin, and she said, no, you know, I use that. I don't see what you see. And I had to go figure out why it was that Robin was always experiencing issues. And then and then I figured it out. It was because the link she was actually using took me to an older version of ADP, which is still active. They haven't taken it down.
Okay.
If you don't see the graphs when you log in, you're in the wrong
So the
URL.
link will be sent to us?
Yeah, I think we're all going to need that new link then.
It was actually in the first email.
This link that This is sharing, this Workforce Now, is that where we register? Because in your email, Lon, you gave us a different link. to
Right.
register.
Yes, you are correct. That was the,
Can you reply all to everybody in this meeting invite with the correct URL, Lon? I know Chris sent it out to people who were on their computer, but a lot of people, we've got a bunch of people in the conference room. But if you can reply all with the correct URL, that would be helpful.
will do. I'll do that as soon as we get off. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'll solve
welcome.
it.
And if there's anything else we need, like a company code or whatever, to register.
That's in the
the-
email.
Yeah, I'm happy to also send that when I do reply all
Thank you.
to save you one extra step. You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.